Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hi, third year medical student. This is our first lecture in nutrition. Here we will talk about the importance of nutrient materials and the type. Our reference is Foundation and Clinical Application of Nutrition, second edition. First of all, what's health? Health is the emerging and balance of 5 physical, psychological dimensions of health. You know it is a physical health, which means proper body function, intellectual health, intellectual ability and how to use it, emotional health, the ability to control emotions, and social health, interaction, relationship with others, and we have spiritual health, that culture believe about the purpose of life. So, if we want to prevent disease, what's important? Why diet is important? Because we have to know that there is danger to health could be reduced or even alleviated through specific actions. Like what? Like change in our lifestyle, in behavior, and in diet. So nutrition, as we said, it is important because there are essential nutrients, and the process by the nutrient are used to the body, by the body. So the science is here deals with the processes by which components of food are made available to an organism. For why it is important to take this nutrition, why our body needs to have a nutrient and good nutrient supply. First of all, for meeting energy requirement and for building, growing, and maintaining tissue, and also maintaining the organism in optimum functional health, and mainly we are talking about the human beings. What about the clinical nutrition? It is a medical specialty that deal with the relationship between the disease and the nutrition. There are a lot of acute and chronic disease or illnesses caused by deficiency or even excess of dietary component, not only deficiency. So the approach here of food consumption as a positive way to nourish the body, and it focuses on the way to organize our life so that we can more easily follow an eating pattern designed to enhance the health status. Consuming diet, it is the favorable diet, and we have to care of ourselves by taking a favorable diet which is containing lower fat, higher fiber, and moderate calorie. Although it is important, but it is challenging subject. And here we have to deal with, in the studying of nutrition, we have to deal with food composition for the nutritive value of foods, and for a way of digestion, absorption, transport, metabolism, and excretion of the food taken. We will have to study all these together, as well as the quantitative and the qualitative values required in different age groups and different development level in life, and also in different physical activity, psychological and physical level, also affected also by the income and by social level. So we have to talk about all these subjects. First of all, now, what is metabolism? All cells have two major general functions. First of all, energy generation and energy utilization. Generation of energy from the food taken orally or even parenterally. And then how we can use this energy from the energy produced from this type of food should be utilized for growth and maintenance. How we can assess this utilization? We have to remember that we have what we call anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism refers to process in which large molecule like protein are biosynthesis from the small nutrient like amino acids. So large molecule are formed from a small molecule by a mechanism or a process, we call it the anabolism. It requires energy, and the energy available in cell in form of the stored chemical energy in high energy phosphate compound, which is ATP. While the catabolism is the degeneration of large molecule to smaller one, and it serves to capture chemical energy ATP from the degeneration of energy rich molecule. So anabolism, it requires energy, consume energy, while catabolism, it releases energy. And this is diagram to show here, as we said, catabolism here from the big molecule it will form a small molecule, and anabolism is the reverse. From a small molecule it will form a big molecule. In adult, there is a regulated balance. The anabolism and the catabolism, they are in balanced state. While in a growing child, the anabolism exceeds the catabolism. This will enhance tissue growth. In aging process in older patient and in those who have wasting disease, the catabolic states exceeds the anabolic one. So catabolism and anabolism not always in a balance. It is different according to age and even in disease, different disease. So what do we mean by homeostasis? It is a state of equilibrium which maintained by the body. State of equilibrium maintained by the body within their internal environments. And this occurs despite any change in the external environment. So our body will maintain equilibrium internally, and this is despite the change of external environment, which is governed by adequate nutrient supply. So the good nutrient supply will maintain the equilibrium state. What do you mean by malnutrition? Malnutrition is a condition characterized by inappropriate quality or quantity or defect in digestion and absorption or utilization of ingested nutrient. There is imbalance in nutrient or maybe energy intake. So there is anyway it is inappropriate amount of nutrient supply and energy intake and or energy. So it includes undernutrition and overnutrition. Undernutrition occurs when there is low food intake and there is calorie deficiency, so causing a growth suppression or maybe other deficiency signs according to the type of fluid or diet and nutrient deficiency. Overnutrition also it means there is over consuming of food and maybe of a single nutrient that leading to a specific toxicity. What do you mean by food and what's the difference between food and diet? Food is all solid or liquid material that taken by mouth, and it will go through the digestive tract and utilize in the body, and it will maintain, build the body and regulate body process and supply energy to maintain the body temperature and sustain life. So this is the solid and liquid material required to maintain the body process and maintaining regulation, building, maintaining body process and supplying energy, while the diet, all the nutrients that enter the body orally or parenterally. Parenterally meaning by any way that enter the GIT may be through, as we said here, we have gastrostomy, we have jejunostomy tube or intravenous alimentation, total parenteral nutrition, that's by IV line, and so on. Glucose water is an example, and normal saline as well. They are parenteral feeding, maybe of amino acid and fatty acid, in addition to oral feeding. So there are difference between food and diet. Diet may be orally or maybe parenterally, while food, anything taken by the oral route. Nutrients are those chemical substances needed for growth and maintenance or repair. Maintenance and repair normal cell both in a human, animal and plants. So this is the chemical substance used for growth and for maintenance of the normal cell function. There are 45 to 50 chemical entities are known to be required by human, either performed by food or added as a chemical constituent. So we have a lot of nutrients needed by our body. The food are classified into organic and inorganic. Organic means protein, carbohydrate, fat, and vitamins. Inorganic, like water, they call it silent nutrient and minerals. What about dietary fat? They are not classified as nutritionally essential, but it is important in maintaining good health. The basic food groups, we have milk group like milk, dairy products. They supply with major nutrients like calcium, protein, and vitamin B2. Meat group, meat, fish, poultry, eggs, meat substitute, beans. These are meat group, and they supply with a major nutrient of protein, fat, iron, and minerals. The bread and cereals group, they contain bread, cooked cereals, dry cereals, rice, pasta, potatoes, and they will supply with a major nutrient of carbohydrate, vitamin B, and iron. And also vegetable group, green and yellow vegetables, they supply major nutrient of minerals, vitamins, and carbohydrate, water. Fruit group, all variety of fruits, they supply with vitamin C, vitamin A, and it is precursors. So these are the basic food supply. We want to know what about our body constituents. The human body consists or composed of 62% is water. It is more in infant and more in children. We have to remember that. 16% is protein. 15% is fat and differ from obese to thin person, maybe higher in obese patient. 1% is carbohydrate and 6% minerals like calcium, phosphate, iron, and there are trace of minerals, of vitamins. So constituent of food, as we said, the nutrients are divided into essential nutrient. What do you mean by essential? These are the substance must be supplied from outside the body in the diet, from the diet, because the body cannot synthesize them at all, or it cannot synthesize them in sufficient quantity for a normal requirement of the body. So they are not formed in our body. They are taken from food, from the diet. Any inadequate intake of essential nutrient will lead to deficiency state, and these are the essential: carbohydrate, protein, fats, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and water. Non-essential nutrient, they are nutrient that the body can synthesize, and it can synthesize there in the body, and so their presence in the diet is not very essential. So the inadequate intake will not lead to deficiency state. The essential nutrient, as we said, carbohydrate, and from the food category, carbohydrate will produce essential nutrient as glucose. Fat or lipid will supply with essential nutrient like linoleic acid, and the protein will produce amino acid in form of lysine, leucine, isoleucine, threonine, phenylalanine, tryptophan, methionine, valine, arginine, and it is essential for an infant, and histidine may be essential. And vitamins, we have fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, retinol, vitamin E, tocopherol, and vitamin K. And water soluble vitamin, ascorbic acid, vitamin B1, thiamine, B2 riboflavin, and niacin, nicotinic acid, pyridoxine, vitamin B6, pantothenic acid, biotin, and folic acid, and vitamin B12, cobalamin. Minerals, we have a macronutrient and micro. Macronutrient like calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, more than 100 milligram per day is required, while the micronutrient, which is iron, zinc, iodide, and selenium, manganese, required daily requirement is less than 100 milligram per day. This is our food guide pyramid. Our requirement and the serving means the quantity required or the amount, how often it's required. Bread, cereals, rice, and pasta group, these are required or serving 6 to 12 times per day. And the fruit group is they are more efficient and should be taken more than others. And here we have the third group: meat, poultry, fish, dry beans, eggs, and nuts. These serving 2 to 3 times per day. And here the least category required in our body is fat, oil, and sweet. Should be used in less amount because it is harmful to our bodies. And the best type of food should be taken are the lower two here, and bread, cereals, and fruit group. While the more dangerous type of food is the upper two parts, the sweets, fats, and meat and poultry, and sometimes excess of cheese or milk. These are more harmful than the lower two. Thank you.